bad about you. I was giving my honest opinion.
You said you're deathly scared of me. That's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
I actually did 500,000 views overnight my first day on the internet. Birdie, how do you feel about Donald Trump? Kidding, I'm kidding. Chill.
There's a hate thread about me already? And what the did I do? I spoke my fucking mind.
How does an Albanian refugee who immigrated to Canada become one of the biggest MAGA supporters, pull out a blick his first day on the streaming platform Twitch, and incessantly debate everyone on why they should believe the earth is flat, captivate an entire Twitch community that has the opposite views of him on literally everything, while subsequently being indefinitely banned? The majority of people, when they're first introduced to him, have no idea if he's a straight up troll, if it's half an act put up for the camera, or if it's actually real. After seeing him dominate an entire conversation on No Jumper with Destiny, who's a known debater, and Adam, who was left baffled as well as entertained a bit, I knew people had to see more. I was able to get into contact with him, conduct an interview, and spend a large chunk of time outside the interview with him to get a full overview of what he was actually like on and off camera. I wanted to make a fair assessment on him as opposed to the myriad of conflicting character profiles of him on the internet that either see him as a Superman, super genius, greatest thing to hit the internet, and the opposite that try to paint him as the highest pillar of evil and whatever combination of words are used nowadays to call someone toxic with bad intentions and inflicting harm on others. JonZherka was recruited to a Twitch dating show called The Rodsler. Now the guy goes by The Austin Show, but this was sometime around January of 2019. He'd been recruited through Omegle, where one of Raj's recruiters found him and invited him on the show, which would change the course of his life forever. The show was a bunch of judges that were female streamers, usually around 4 of them, and there would be plenty of guys in a King of the Hill format, who were usually also streamers, vying to win their attention and affection, usually catering to their every whim. Raj brings on John, who's wearing a blue Trump MAGA hoodie and brandishing a blicky at the screen. This, being against Twitch TOS, causes the host to panic, taking him off screen, with the girl's jaws dropping, and him eventually being let back on after showing them that it was fake. But the impression was already made.
My name is JonZherka.
Okay.
I'm getting to it.
Who's Babe?
Raj is Babe.
All of them.
Raj
Now all
is
of them. I haven't chose yet.
He was largely there to troll, make people laugh, and promote his Instagram, which was full of clips of him fighting.
Fuck is your Instagram, man?
Yeah, what is going on your Instagram, man? What's going on here? You're the most interesting, scary motherfucker. I've never met. You are scary as
I'm
hell.
not scary. I'm such a nice guy.
You are scary, man. You're terrifying, dude.
No.
I'm scared.
This subsequently led to him getting mass reported and banned from IG the next day. This clip would go on to do nearly 500,000 views in a day on YouTube, which would become one of John's most referred to lines. In the same way, toys from the early 2000s, whether it was a Woody or a Buzz Lightyear, had these 5 or 6 phrases or sentences they would repeat whenever you would push one of the buttons, or in Woody's case, pull the string. Zherka has a couple of those. One of them being, I did 500k views overnight my first day on the internet. Now, was that ever topped? That's a different story. But he was excited nonetheless and continued hopping on these shows and showing more of himself on Twitch, abandoning his previous life of being a club bouncer, which helped develop a lot of his experiences and views on the world. If there's any way to describe why his rise on Twitch was so meteoric, it would have to be polarity. John's such an opposite character to everything that Twitch or mainstream media represented, from his size, to his views, to unapologetically stating his views, while still having a level of comedy and charm that can win people over who disagreed with him. The only ones who ended up hating him were actually other males. Despite disagreeing with him, the majority of females on the platform grew an affinity for him because of these traits. One of the things I quickly learned was how unprepared John was for everything. It was like I was witnessing in first person the stereotype that we have of some famous singer. The person that needs someone to book their hotels, buy them clothes, pick them up if they want them to go somewhere, all at the age of 29. For example, when I invited John to do an interview, he was adamant that he needed a change of outfit. He wanted to look more hip-hop. He had flown into LA from Vancouver, Canada to do No Jumper and some other stuff, and didn't anticipate being in LA for more than a day or two, so he only showed up with one outfit and a backpack. Then he found out that Adam invited him to do more shows, so he would end up staying longer. This sounds reasonable if it were the first time something like this happened, but it wasn't. I had seen him the day prior with some other girl who was recording TikToks. John introduced her saying, and I quote, "Hey, can this girl who has 1.5 million on TikTok that was on Fresh and Fit come along?" He has a funny habit of introducing people by their clout levels. Think of it as a scouter for power levels from Dragon Ball Z, one of his favorite shows ever. I had no problem with that, but I knew from experience that I couldn't just wait for him to get the clothes or it would never happen. I couldn't even rely on him to show up on his own, so I told him to send me the address. He had just filmed some episode with this girl, so I picked them both up and we got breakfast since he hadn't eaten since the day prior. I felt like what I imagined the life of a manager for these rappers would be like. I took him to several stores, eventually getting him the blue hoodie, and he finally found a pair of sunglasses that he felt were good enough to wear in front of the interview. We drove back to the location and set up shop.
All right. Name?
John fucking Zherka.
And you were just on No Jumper the other day.
Adam's show, yeah, I took over.
How was that?
I enjoyed it. I went on with Destiny, blue hair cuck, lets his wife get fucked by other men type shit. One of my best friends. But yeah, we had fun. Adam asked some insightful questions and then I spoke for like 2 hours straight.
Yeah, why did nobody else talk there? It felt like Adam was trying to get some questions, but the girl and Destiny seemed to not say a single word.
They're afraid of me. They thought that I'm unstable.
Are you unstable?
Perhaps. If I was to answer that directly, that's gonna hurt me. I got enemies watching this shit. If they think I'm on my stable arc, if they think he's finally mentally, he's healing. If they think that I went to therapy, that puts me in a bad position. So I don't answer retard questions like that. Don't ever ask a retard question like that again. You're putting my whole brand at risk right now.
What is your brand? Because aren't you banned on Twitch?
My brand is, I run a server called the Gay Frog Gang, and basically we bring the truth, the Alex Jones truth, but the deeper levels. Our brand is just, right now it's Operation Takeover LA. We're tired of these fucking liberal cuck bitches. You know what I'm talking about? All these gays. We're tired of them ruling LA. So we're gonna try doing it our way, the straight way for the first time in 20 years. And this is the brand, it's the takeover, right?
One thing that they were kind of talking about in that episode was something about relationships. Do you believe in the idea of a power couple?
No, because that's implying that a woman can be powerful, right? And women are, genetically inferior to men in every single metric. Even nursing, like a male nurse can carry a dead patient, whereas a woman will struggle with your, dying grandmother. Right? Granny can't get picked up by a woman, and they're good at nursing. They're supposed to be good at it, but would you rather want a male nurse or a female nurse to pick up your dead grandma? Like Granny didn't get her vax type shit.
But if, let's say you're in the hospital and they have to put a catheter in you, would you rather have a male nurse or a female nurse put a catheter in you?
A cat what?
A catheter.
What is that?
It's this thing where, like, if someone's in the hospital...
Up my ass?
No. They put it, like, in your pee hole to make you pee.
Bro, let me die at that point. What are you talking about?
Or
is that what... You done that?
Hell no. But I'm saying that's a procedure that sometimes needs to be done. So would you rather have a male nurse or a female nurse doing that?
Bro, at that point, just let me die. Whatever coma I'm in or whatever, just unplug.
Okay. But I don't think people are saying that they're powerful because, like, let's say, for example, Cardi B, she was a stripper. So she's not a stripper anymore, so I'm guessing she's human. But she is powerful in the industry, so to speak. So is that still considered a power couple, or it's just cope?
I mean, how did she even get to that position? Some would say, that's climbing the ladder of cock. That's the industry ladder.
So what do you believe the industry ladder looks like? Is there any like doors
I mean, no
that people have
woman
to go
got
through?
into any position without, a man helping them out, right? It's kind of a man's world. And a lot of people think I enjoy this. I don't. I kind of wish I was a woman where I can just swipe the credit card and talk to my fucking cat all day and do retard shit like women. But I'm a man. I got to go to work. Some of these women think taking a nude picture is work. Bitch, that took 5 seconds. That's not work. That's not work at all.
There's something new though, especially in rap music. There's a lot of female rappers now. So what is your opinion on them? Do you listen to any of them? Do you enjoy their music? Do you think this is being engineered? Like they're forcing more female rappers? Because there's a lot more than there was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that whole getting rappers to wear dresses. It's definitely one of those agenda trends, right? Let's get some women in here, look more inclusive. But these women are kind of corny because they're like, rap is about being obnoxious and being badass, and there's nothing badass about getting fucked, right? I mean, at the end of the day, women get fucked. So you can do this all you want. At the end of the day, you're on your back getting fucked. There's nothing gangster about that. But some people say, oh, I'm playing a character and shit. I can say one of my favorite rappers is a female. Young M.A., that lesbian. Any song you play, I know all the lyrics. I love New York rappers and stuff. But see, if I was playing a character, I would never say that. I'd be like, no, fuck all these women and stuff. But she's cool. But, I guess she is cool.
What is it about Young M.A. that attracts you to her music?
I like that rhyme scheme that's like a duet. You know what I mean?
What first got you into rap music? Because you're from Canada.
I'm from Harlem. And then I moved to Canada.
Where specifically in Harlem?
Bro, let's keep it on the down low. But I went to Canada and I started working in nightclubs. And hold on. Yo, bro, I'm on an interview right now. Why you keep calling? Hey, we're right now. I'm at Complex. We're doing an interview. I can't talk right now.
Let's talk later.
Female rap? What were we saying?
We were saying, how did you get into rap music?
Right, I was working in nightclubs. I was bouncing, and yeah, I guess I was just around a lot of that hip hop stuff and some EDM actually. Like, that retard music, like house music, the fucking crackhead music. I know a bit of that. I don't like that. But yeah, it was mostly hip hop, and it was really at the nightclub that I got into this stuff. And then when I first got on the internet, I said Migos are the greatest of all time, and Migos are way better than Tupac. And that started like a firestorm of people hating me. But the Migos changed music sonically, like how it's lit. The Migos spawned more copycats than Tupac ever did. There is no one copying Tupac. When I was 13, I had a dream. And how many people copied Tupac? 4 or 5, And some people are like, oh, that style is just hard to emulate. I don't think that's the reason. I think the Migos were just more influential they were more influential to the culture, but Tupac was a political thing. You know what I mean? That's why it was so big. Tupac's like the Martin Luther of rap.
So,
but the Migos are the Malcolm X. You know what I mean?
So do you think Tupac is still alive?
Nah. There's some people who have that conspiracy where he's underground in New York, right? He's in an underground city.
No, I've never heard of that.
I looked into that conspiracy, and it's fucking, a meth head started that. It's like it holds no weight. So I think he's dead. And I think Tupac's like the most overrated rapper of all time, right? This is not gonna fly well with anyone, but really, you know, like I like these stories, you know, Tupac, Eminem, the people who tell stories. I like a good story told, but I don't want my dick sucked with Tupac in the background or Eminem or any storyteller. But when the Migos are, you know, at the party, now the girls are partying, you know? Like nobody gets their dick sucked to Hail Mary. But Slippery, excuse me. You know what I mean? So Migos definitely brought better memories in my life than Tupac. Tupac actually brought some depressing memories.
So you were pretty sad when the Migos broke up and then eventually take off, passing away.
Yeah, I was pretty sad, but around that time I stopped listening to all music. I switched to audiobooks because there's this CIA operative that was talking about psychological operations done on the mind and when the mind is at the lowest point. And apparently when the mind is at the lowest point, that's when the artists trap the mind. So when you're at your most depressed state, that's when you play your music. And that's when you get fucking those thought loops that destroy your life. For example, I used to just have a couple beers and then there was this song that went like, Molly, Percocet, Molly, Percocet, just repetition.
A Mask Off by Future?
Yeah, and Hitler once said, if you want people to believe something, you just repeat it a bunch of times and you keep repeating it and they just believe it. So I'm at the bar with buddies and then that was the first time in my life, I think 2017 or 18, I said, yo, I don't want no beers. I want to try this Percocet. I want to try this Molly. This is the first time in my life I'm switching from alcohol to some life destroyer shit. You're telling me that song is not a commercial for those drugs? This is clear psychological warfare. And it's obvious as day. And I'm not saying that's how I got hooked on perks, but that's my first perk. My first perk is because I got infiltrated psychically by music.
So do you think music was originally a psyop or they invaded music and turned it into a psyop?
Yeah, no, anything that gets popular just gets invaded, right? It's not from scratch ever, right? The arts are infiltrated, all arts.
So when would you say rap specifically it got infiltrated? Would you say when it was kind of getting a little like zesty?
No, it's when the music shifted from my mama had a dream to now I'm sipping lean and it just became all drug. Every song became a drug commercial and there was a fucking retard named Lil Pump as the biggest name. Remember that era?
I do, yes.
That shift, after we turned that wheel, we never went back. To this day, we're still talking about drugs. And it's like, God damn, where I'm from, you just do the drugs. You don't talk about them all day. That's like that fucking stoner white boy talking about weed all day. It's like, shut the fuck up and go listen to Mac Miller, bro.
So do you believe hip hop is being feminized? Because other rappers have said, you know, that there are certain...
Oh yeah. In the 90s, if the 90s rappers were alive today, every hip hop channel would be called gay. Every single channel would be gay to them. Not gay, it would be F-slur gay. They would be so fucking angry, those guys in the baggy clothes. They look at Uzi and be like, what the fuck? Get that lollipop out your mouth, little boy. What the fuck? And they're all liars, bro. All these rappers are gangsters. They're not gangsters. None of them are actual gangsters. That's why when 6ix9ine gets all this hate, I'm like, you guys know that all the other rappers do exactly what that little boy does. Like they pretend. I think the only real ones were the Chicago drill guys. Yeah. And they're all gone, right? It became a violent scene.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of them have gotten locked up.
If you're a mainstream rapper, you are no gangster, bro. Stop it.
So a lot of people say, so what do you define as when an artist sells their soul? Or is that like really a thing?
Yeah, when an artist sells their soul, they're pretty much doing some feminine shit for the label. So they'd be like, hey, Uzi, put this dress on. Or Thug, or whoever. Who's the guy who just recently had a dress on?
Lil Nas X?
See, I don't even know, and I know you know. There's like All of these guys gotta put a dress on, this humiliation ritual. And then boom, they're top of the charts.
He is number one.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's that gay power.
Well, now there's an actual gay rapper that has a hit.
Who?
This dude named Saucy Santana. He's got a
The
BBL.
gayest name I've ever heard.
Yeah. But one of the things that a lot of people had questions about is a lot of these female rappers, the people writing their hits are all men.
Well, that's obvious. Women can't actually think. They're not even designed to think. Women are designed to play. That's why they're the passive principle in nature. Women can only work 4 to 8 years in a whole 100-year period. These are losers, dude. Like, do you really know any women who are going to be working 90 years in a row? That doesn't exist. That's never happened in the history of ever. The only time you see a woman work for 20 years straight, double click the bitch's profile and it's part-time. It's every single time it's part-time. There's no full-time 20 years straight woman working. You can't work if you're a woman because the woman's brain is not designed to think. That's why they make millions, but they got nothing to show for it. That's why they need men. Because men say, hey, why don't you invest that money instead of buying that IKEA couch? You know, men help them out.
So do you think that the female rappers that are doing well, it's because the men told them what to do and what to wear and what to rap?
100%. You really think she's waking up in the morning and I'm gonna go through my schedule today. Let me see what I wrote down yesterday. No, someone wrote that for her. Someone actually wakes her up out of bed. And if she's PMSing, she's not doing shit. She's stuck in bed.
I feel like people will say they do that for, a lot of these male rappers too. Like
yeah, because these male rappers are acting feminine. They're always fucked up. Hey, when I used to do a shit ton of drugs, I wasn't fucking sleeping in, I was working. What's the point of doing drugs if you're not making money? These guys are like missing shows. They're like missing magazine covers and everything because they're too fucked up from the night before. That's whore behavior. That's how whores operate. Whores, I can't make it. I'm too fucked up. That's whore behavior. You can't handle your fucking drugs, little boy? That's whore behavior. So these men acting feminine, they're being women. They just need their dopamine. They need their lean. They need their perk. They need something to make them feel good. That's whore behavior. These are whores. They're not men. A man will wake up with that fucking hangover and go get that fucking money. We used to do this in wars. We'd have a headache during a war. We'd still do the job.
So what brought you to LA?
That no jumper thing. They wanted me on that. And I knew I was going to meet the right people and just absorb everything I can from them. I'm just going to use them and then disappear. I knew this is the best way to do it. Because this grinding shit is not for me, right?
What does that mean?
No. Don't try and say I'm feminine. I'm saying I've done 23-hour work days live. You've never done that. Live stream 23 hours a day. I made my money, but that was stupid shit.
But you haven't passed the 8 years. I feel like you got to pass the 4 to 8 years for you to not be feminine because you said that's their gap.
I need network and a higher production. I need a team, a marketing team. I need Adam and his people. That's why I'm here. But it's not that I need these people to succeed. It's that it's faster. Just the wheels turn faster.
You don't believe that there are real rituals being done with these artists, right?
Well, no, for the mainstream artists that are on the TV all the time, 100%.
Really? What does that look like?
A humiliation ritual where they put you in a little dress like Kevin Hart. Have you seen Kevin Hart, who said he would never do that, and then all of a sudden a movie deal, or they put Dwayne Johnson, who I've done a body double for the movie Skyscraper. I was his body double. And one day I turn on the TV and this guy's a fucking tooth fairy? You telling me that he just woke up one day and said, I got an idea? I got this tutu dress. No, someone fucking said, put that shit on. Here's your contract.
But what's the incentive for them to do that?
It's an ownership ritual. Right? You're either in the club or you're not. Like, ask yourself, what's the point of doing a skull and bones ritual where everyone is masturbating? to the one dude who's being initiated and he's in a coffin? What is the point of that?
I've never even heard of that.
Of course you have. You can just Google that. Alex Jones, everyone who talks about this stuff, every secret society has this ritual. It's like is that called hazing, when white boys start acting gay in college?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that, and they all start jacking off to each other, and you have to like confess your deepest, darkest secrets as everyone's jacking off and touching themselves. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to rob all the money in LA, but if I don't talk about this shit, I need those people away from me, right? I'm not trying to like, hey, here's a contract, we're gonna jack off to you. That's why I talk about it. I'm like, hey, give me the money, but stop jacking off. Like, what are you doing? You know, that's why I talk about it, to keep me guarded, right? So people go, oh, this guy's not into it.
But I don't see how it affects their motivation, because they're not making any more money if the dude wears a dress. Or do they have more motivation?
Who's not making more money? You think Dwayne is gonna miss out on a fucking $40 million contract?
No, I'm saying the person that's giving him the contract, I don't think the person makes more money if Dwayne's in a dress.
Think of it like this. Is pushing this inclusive gay agenda, is pushing this agenda making someone more money? At the highest level, who knows? But the point is, these guys who rule the world, they print money. They don't care about profit. If you can print money, you think, what, just print more, bitch. So clearly they're printing money and they're bored and they're like, yo, let's get these rappers in dresses. And these rappers are like, okay, how you gangbanging a tutu? That's fucking criminal. Man, and you guys are listening to the music. That's the gayest shit I've ever heard, bro. Imagine driving around to fucking Tutu the rapper. Little Tutu Park. That's the gayest shit I've ever heard, bro. If I have to listen to a rapper who wore a dress, bro, I'll switch to fucking Hannah Montana in my car. I'll switch to something less gay. So, yeah, I stopped listening to music and started doing audiobooks and feel a lot smarter. You know,
What kind of audiobooks did you dive into?
Mostly business, mindset. I like the Donald Trump's mentor. He had a good book of The Power of Positive Thinking.
Milton Friedman?
I don't remember the names. I just snort a line and listen. And you know, like, I never realized how much better my life was when I cut out the music. You know, I'll drive to music, but it won't be in my house. I'm ISIS, motherfucker, no music. So I think that's like, you know, as funny, you know, I sound funny when I talk, right? But I mean it. No music in my house. And yeah, because music sends you into memory loops. And that's some gay, only women are stuck in, oh, I miss my ex-boyfriend. Those memory loops are gay as fuck. Memory loops is the reason why people stay on TikTok for 4 hours. Dude, you could have made $40 million. You're on TikTok for 4 hours watching little kids like a pedophile. The fuck is the matter with you? These thought loops all come from the mental plane. The mental plane is not yours. You share it with her, him, everyone. You share it with me. That's why everything I'm saying, you're thinking about, because I'm affecting you. Radio, movies, all that is in your psyche. Psyche is mind and soul. It's affecting your soul. Now, ask yourself, if your mind's getting raped all day by radio, TV, and all sorts of media, when do you actually have authentic thoughts? When do you have millionaire ideas? You don't have time for them because your mind's always being raped. So why the fuck would I have music in my house? I'd rather listen to my own thoughts that give me these great ideas. And I'll stop sounding crazy when you see the Ferrari behind me, but...
No, I think that makes sense. But wouldn't you say that ideas are only worth as much as the execution on them?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I've studied alchemy, right? So there's an earth, fire, air, water, aura around.
I thought that was all BS.
You think it's bullshit, but who wrote about this? These are guys who work at the Federal Reserve, the Treasury. Donald Trump's mentors study Kabbalah. Why are these businessmen studying this stuff? Because alchemy is philosophical. It has nothing to do with lead, mercury, and gold. When it talks about lead turning into gold, it's philosophical. It's talking about your mind being transmuted from stupid to genius, from idiot to millionaire. Alchemy was, but think of chemistry, the retard science. Alchemy was first. And in alchemy, earth is your flesh, your body. Water is your generative principle, your reproductive fluids. Fire is astral flame and soul, which controls your motions and emotion, or emotion to move. Then you have the final one, air, the mental plane. This one is where most women fuck up.
How?
Because they get penetrated by other air particles, other ideas in the ether. Now, men, where I see them fuck up the most is in the fire aura. Your diurnal electromagnetic pulse, you got a fucking field around your heart pulse. That fire aura is your SOL, your soul, the solar. From your fucking solar plexus, homie.
I thought that was shit out of luck. I thought that's what SOL was.
Men don't follow their souls. They're atheists, they're pathetic. Women, they try and follow their souls. And then the mental plane, the air. Maybe I'll make an OnlyFans and tomorrow I'll kill myself. That's where they get raped, mind fucked. So I think men gotta go to God because women cannot go to God. They need to get married to have God. That's how fucking stupid they are. They need a man to fucking introduce them to God. They need a plug for God. What? But men don't have God themselves nowadays. They'll do, hey, I'll wear a fucking tutu for $10 million. Bro, I'd rather fucking kill myself than wear a tutu.
So do you think that means men need to have more women so they can bring more women to God?
No, men need one woman.
Okay.
If you have multiple women arguing with you, you're gonna put one in your head. Right?
Maybe not
One
at the same
bitch is
time.
enough. Don't complicate it like Andrew Tate and shit.
No, 'cause
Those
think
bitches
about
put
it.
him in jail. One is enough.
No, numbers wise, if there are more women than men and we want to bring everyone to God, then that means, so are some women going to be left without God?
Those are whores. They have to be left behind. What are you saying? Everyone can go to God?
I don't know.
Think of the problem of evil. Do you believe in evil?
Absolutely.
It exists.
Absolutely.
That means some girls are just destined to be evil. They can't all get married. What the fuck? That's why I say some women just gotta accept that they're like a dick sucking machine and maybe get good at it. Like, what the fuck? You can't even get good at that? You know, men are out sucking women now.
Wait, what?
Gay men suck better dick than women. Like they lose.
I don't know anything about that.
They lose at everything, dude. Hey, why are you acting like I know something about that? I'm saying that they're losing, you fucking idiot.
I don't know. I've never had that thought cross my mind. So it made me think a little bit.
Yeah, these are end times.
So if the rate of all of this is going up now, is that just natural or has it been engineered?
It's always top down. This fucking retard shit of, we put pedophile content on Netflix because it makes the most money. No, it's top down, meaning they put a war movie before they get your sons and daughters to go to Iraq. It's psychological warfare. They put fucking dresses on fucking Disney stars, on little boys, and oh, boys can wear a dress. And then your kids grow up thinking that's okay, yeah, I guess I'll wear a dress. It's top down. It's always been top down. Matter of fact, this is how democracy is run, right? Where they have the idea and they're like, how do we convince people how do I convince everyone to cut their cock off? Well, just put destiny in there. That's why Christ and the Bible is so real, because biting from the fruit of knowledge means you might sit in a room thinking and thinking and thinking for weeks until you come to the conclusion to cut your fucking dick off at a 40% suicide rate community. That's the community you want to join. Man, you thought yourself into a genius. Stop thinking. Holy shit.
But I thought a little bit earlier you said like thinking is really important. That's why music should be,
No, thinking is useless. You have to unlearn, unthink. You've already had enough put in your head. Now it's about taking it out. This is like when you're done doing a bunch of blow and you have to fucking take all that nasty shit out your nose. You understand? Like you already got what you were looking for and it harmed you. Now you want to take it out. If you're 20 years old and you're not unlearning shit, if you're 20 years old and still believing in dinosaurs, billions and billions and zillions of dollars all circulate the Vatican, all circulate one fucking book, the first book ever written, and you're telling me that book is fake news?
I thought the Bible was written after hieroglyphics.
If you think the news is fake, history has to be as well. You don't know that the Egyptians were here 2,000, 4,000 years ago. You really believe 200,000 years ago there were cavemen and there's dinosaurs millions of years? Come on, bro. They fucking got one sample out of a piece of ice. They said, hey, carbon dating shows that from this air bubble, we figured out this ice is 23 million years old. From a fucking bubble? Imagine what you do with a fucking block of ice. For a bubble? A bubble got you that much gnosis? You guys are the most knowledgeable people on earth. If you can do that with a bubble, solve cancer. Yeah, give me some money and I'll solve it. How much you need? Or just 40 years of can't do it. We scammed you. They took all of our money with cancer research and there's still no cure. Now they're like, hey, let's talk about COVID. I said, COVID? Bro, you remember in high school when we used to give money for cancer research? Yeah. I used to think I'm doing something. I was like, here's 20 bucks. Are you kidding me? Where is the cure? I'm an old man, I'm graying. Where is the cure?
So is cancer research a psyop too?
I mean, look into people who solved cancer and what happened to them.
I think I saw something about that in Africa, but I don't know if that's real.
I don't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But there is one stupid one where it's like this guy solved cancer with just eating apricots. I'm not with that dude, but I know there's some cures that, like, think about it. If you really think I'm being crazy, why are 200 different types of Viagra from the Chinese market illegal in the US? That's called a monopoly, motherfucker. They're not allowing that shit in. So let's think of other medicines.
I heard they made up Viagra by accident. And then they made up a disease so they could treat it with Viagra.
But listen to what I'm saying. It's like they don't allow problems to be solved if it affects their bottom line. And it's like that with everything. It's not just medicine.
Yeah, but they could just print more money, so it can't be like a monetary thing. Do they want less people on Earth?
Yeah, they want, exactly. It's a depopulation agenda and they want people sick and weak. Did you know? Order out of chaos in Masonic literature, right?
No, I have no idea what that is.
The goal isn't to make it so everyone can just have sex with women in a liberal society. It's to frustrate you. It's tits and ass are always on TV, Twitter, Instagram, but you can't have any. You can't have any. And no matter how many bitches you have, you always find yourself frustrated. That's their fucking game plan. And that one's coming in my documentary, so I can actually cite that source.
So they want us to have less women? Why?
They want you frustrated, right? They want you fat, ugly, frustrated, choking on Cheetos. Like a fucking hamster in a fucking wheel.
So they want more obesity?
Yeah, a lot of people think they want more workers, then why do COVID? Why? To drive people more into debt. There was actually a time in I think post-World War II, where there was so much wealth in the US that everyone could take an airplane every weekend and go somewhere. And the ruling classes hated that. They're like, we're not waiting in line with these fucking commoners. How the fuck are we waiting in line with, how did everyone make so much fucking money? We're waiting in line with commoners? Put these motherfuckers in debt. That's how debt started. That's how all these credit card scam systems started. It's because the ruling class is like, oh wow, we finally reached economic prosperity to where everyone's kind of equal. this is kind of bad. I'm not waiting. Imagine you're the Queen of England, that ugly, dusty hag that just fucking dropped dead. Imagine her being told to wait in line with a dude who works at fucking Costco, Walmart. You know how much that stings her ego? So every time there's a wealth jump, they do something like COVID or something to yank everyone into debt again. And debt really is the ultimate gate, right? That's the ultimate gatekeeper, is debt.
So they put people in debt because people need to make the money, but you're saying they can just print the money, so the debt isn't even really real, but the person believes it's real?
I mean, when they give you $10, when the bank gives you $10 and says, here's 10, I pulled it out of thin air, but you owe me 15. Your first question, if you're not a retard, is, well, where do I get 5? And then the bank says, I got you, bro, but now you owe me 30. And you go, well, where do I get this extra money? And the bank goes, hey, homie, I got you. Here's 100. But you owe me 1,000. And you go, well, where do I get it? And they fucking kill you. You better pay up. They'll kill your ass. What kind of system is this? This is not off the gold standard. This is the most disgusting, evil system in history. And I sometimes think we deserve it. I really like seeing people suffering and struggling because I go, you never took the time to research how you're being fucked by the Federal Reserve and the monetary system. You kind of deserve it, bro. If someone's coming and raping me every day, I'd say, hey, who are you, sir? Who are you raping me? I'll do some research into who the fuck is attacking me? Oh, this guy lives here, da-da-da-da.
But maybe they've got them psyoped with, like basketball and sports and drinking and all the other stuff, so they're not thinking about it.
That's exactly it. On zodiac alignments, certain dates, they have big Super Bowl festivals. That's exactly how they do it. And what's crazy is, it works. If you give them bread and circuses, they don't care about Epstein Island. Nobody cares. It's a meme. Epstein Island is a meme now, And I've visited. I'm on that list.
The island?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Little St. James?
I don't know. Is that in the Caribbean?
No comment. But I'm doing a documentary exposing all that, so.
Oh, yeah, can you tell me more about that? You kind of showed me some stuff, but you've been working on this for a really long time.
Because a lot of people like to say, oh, this guy's like an Alex Jones character. What Alex Jones character? When have you heard Alex Jones actually quoting books, 1,000-year-old books, 500-year-old books? I'm the only one doing it for real, right? He's talking about gay frogs. I like Alex and all that. I like him. I really like him. He's my inspiration. I'm not disrespecting him. But come on, dude. Someone has to do conspiracy correct. When you're doing conspiracy and believing in aliens, Project Bluebeam, most conspiracy people are fucking retards believing in aliens and dinosaurs. They don't even understand the shape of the earth. They don't understand the geocentric firmament system from the Bible. They want retard science. They love it because they grew up with NASA and their dad building rockets with them. Rockets are obelisks made to penetrate the dome of God. Operation Fishbowl Dominic. Dominic is of the Lord. Fishbowl of the Lord. And they were shooting rockets. Boom, boom, boom. Trying to penetrate some kind of dome. Well, what kind of dome? Think of a rainbow. It's dome shaped because it's reflecting off the dome. All the stars are fixed in place. That's why they spin counterclockwise. It's a fucking snow globe, not a fucking disc flying through space. Space is fake. All pictures of Mars, Jupiter, that's your religion. It's called heliocentrism. It's a Luciferian religion, sun worship. Read your Bible, dude. The highest purchasing power we've ever seen with the highest depression and suicide and anxiety, and you don't want to go to your Bible right now? Bitch, when are you gonna go? When the barrel's at your head?
So, are there planets?
Yeah, they're luminaries. They're wandering stars. Planets are wandering stars. They're just stars with a different orbit. They're not the blanket of stars that move. They just have their own thing. The Greeks worship these planets because they're not moving towards God's decision. they're going their own path, like Mars is the god of war and all that shit. And they'd worship them. They'd be like, yeah, I want to be like that. I want to be like Jupiter. I want to be horse shit, because Christ is king and wiped all that pagan garbage completely out of the system and stopped this child sacrifice and all this freak shit. But now we're seeing a rise in pagan star worship. There's little bitches, little 13-year-old, I don't give a fuck if they're 13, they're playing with little crystals on TikTok. Have you seen those little meth dealers?
I have.
What
I've seen grown women doing that, actually.
They're worshiping rocks and minerals, and you see a lot of Wicca and witchcraft everywhere, not just LA. And you got to ask yourself, like, you think the Bible, who is so accurate, the Bible is so accurate on so many things, do you really think witchcraft they fucked up on? Oh, they just made that one up? Or was there something to it? Manny P. Hall and these Freemasons who literally wrote the most influential books of all time. He wrote, magic is controlling the invisible forces of nature, that you can affect the mental plane. That's why for MK Ultra projects where they want someone like Ted Bundy and all these serial killers that are military related, all of them.
Wait, hold on. I'm a little confused. How do we go from black magic to serial killers?
I'm gonna break it down. Because black magic at its highest, most powerful Aleister Crowley level is always rape ritual, sodomy of a little 11-year-old boy of highest intelligence, and sometimes sacrifice, but most of the time it's rape. Why? Because when you rape someone, yes, you fuck their psyche, but when you rape them with satanic chanting and visuals and when you do that to them, you're actually terrifying them so much they split into a dissociative state. And now they go to a happy place in their head to cope with all this. And when they're in the dissociative zombie state, they go like this, and that's when you program them. You say, get up! And the child will listen and repress the memory for decades. Maybe they become like a NFL player or they work at a magazine or whatever. Maybe 10 years goes by and they think this is just a bad dream. You know, they've repressed the memory. I call them. They pick up their phone and I trigger them with the highest level of trauma, the memory of their rape. Get up! And that command puts them back into that zombie state. At that zombie state, they say, go shoot this motherfucking place up. They perfected this in ancient Egypt. In my documentary, we talk about Joe Rogan and all these people who we're talking about Egyptians all day, but we don't know anything about Egyptians. Why? Because they will never tell you that the tomb of becoming a pharaoh as a little boy, you go in with a soul partner. One becomes the philosophical king and the other is sacrificed in front of the other. 10 sages violently rape one of the boys. Everyone in the tribe believes that that boy goes into that tomb and up into heaven, but what's happening is his flesh is being torn. He's being forced to eat his own flesh. He's being raped and murdered to death, and the other boy must stay in darkness for 3 nights and be resurrected, sometimes even 7, depending on which ritual. I'm gonna cover both on my documentary. Why is this so important? Because when someone becomes king and is initiated by these dark sages this way, this king will never, ever turn on the people who have shown them the highest evil of what they're capable of. They always look at those sages as their mentors, their guidance, their gods. So the kings can only be put into power if their mind is dissociated, shattered into a dissociate state, not just fractured, way worse.
And that's only in Egypt.
Well, Druidic practices, it's all over. The best way to not piss away the family's wealth is not to give your fucking kids your $1 billion assets. It's to cut your kid's puppy's head off in front of them and say, do as you're told and become a financier for the Bank of London. And they do it. This is trauma-based mind control that Kay Griggs in my documentary actually exposes. Now, why this stuff's important to me is because I've never read books in my life, but I'm obsessed with power. I want to know who rules me, how they do it, and why. And when I found out that you cannot have a mind slave without the symbols and rituals of Satanism, well then, motherfucker, Satanism became real. It became real. So when you study this stuff, the only conclusion is Christ is king. That if there's people out there using Satanism to keep their fortunes, then the Bible's whole motto of the material world is ruled by the devil, it's actually correct.
So is that why there's like Satanism in music videos and stuff like that and performances?
Yeah, a lot of it is to penetrate the subconscious, the lunar psyche, the female psyche. The male is the active principle that's conscious, right? The solar, and the lunar is when you're asleep, or the opposite of wakefulness. Now, a lot of that imagery penetrates for example, McDonald's, they have red, yellow as their colors because they're penetrating your psyche to make you hungry, correct?
I don't know.
You think if the McDonald's sign was blue, you'd be hungry?
I mean, I kind of go to McDonald's after I'm hungry.
You don't think they choose certain colors to stimulate appetite?
I believe so. In marketing, yeah.
Now, what do you think they're doing with rap? What are they trying to stimulate?
That is true, because I've noticed that a lot more rappers now, they just paint their nails for some reason and they don't know why.
Well, okay, you're missing where I'm going with this.
McDonald's.
It's not about painting nails. It's about the satanic imagery. Why are they doing it? Because demonically charged music makes more money every single time.
But Tupac was making a lot of money.
And he was what? In a tub naked, taking pictures for magazines? Thug life, I guess, right? That's...
But what about the Beatles?
Again, the Beatles, one of their albums was called Past Master, which is a literal Mason level. They said that Christianity will die and rock and roll music will take over. They had Aleister Crowley, the beast himself, on their album covers. The Beatles were the most satanic homosexuals that ever existed.
So people can cast, so you're telling me that there are people that can cast spells and they're Luciferian?
You seen my pickup, when I pick up a girl in 9 seconds on a video, right? You seen how they're like bubbly and ready to come suck my dick? You think I didn't cast a spell in her head with my words? Everyone on earth is, if you don't believe in spell casting, it's because you're a retard, because you're bad at it. You ask anyone who picks up a lot of girls, he knows what he's doing with the tone, not just the words. He knows what he's doing with the harmonics. He knows he's syncing up that resonance, that sound against her heart. Spell casting is everything. Do you think the MAGA chant, Make America Great Again, is not a spell? Bro, people went to jail on January 6th for that spell. Do you know that humans in a protest, why they start rioting, is because they're all that mental plane, all their minds start fusing into a hive mind called a riot. But it's all around one symbol that a sign someone's holding, a spell. Sometimes even a swastika. You hear what I'm saying? If you don't believe signs and symbols are not spellcast, if I can't spellcast a symbol, wear a swastika, go in a synagogue. See if it has any effect. Wear a swastika and go in a synagogue and tell me that that symbol has no effect in other people's mental plane. Do people lose their fucking minds? You're telling me I can't make one spell of a swastika to start a fucking riot? Are you kidding me? Of course spellcasting exists, you fucking retard. Look at you thinking it's Harry Potter.
But I feel like some people say like, oh, well, this isn't based in science and, you know, science this. I hear a lot of people talk about that. So they're like, spells aren't real because it's not scientific.
Yeah, and they told us to get vaccines, and now they're like, "Hey, my bad if you got a heart attack." Was it the Atlantic or the Washington Post that had an amnesty, and they said, "Hey, well, we're actually really sorry about all the vaccine stuff we pushed. I guess you just have to forgive us." I mean, your science is changing year by year, and it's always wrong. Remember, science was what said switch from eating bacon and eggs in the 80s to eating cereal and muffins, because eggs and bacon have fats in them that will make you fat. As soon as they switched, because Kellogg's and all those bought the science, right? Fake news. As soon as they made that shift, Americans' obesity skyrocketed. And what's funny is, do your research into how much science actually gets published. It's less than 1% of scientists on Earth, meaning real scientists who disagree with the mainstream narrative, their paychecks are pushed aside. They're actually seen as retards and conspiracy theorists.
I mean, if I'm following your logic right here, it sounds like if the scientists are being bought and they push out a message that people are buying, then aren't the scientists spellcasters?
Yeah, I mean, the Bible talks about pharmakia, right? Look into that. And I mean, how many times have you gone to the doctor and he gave you a cure? Probably never. It's always to treat some symptom, but it's gonna like cause a problem with something else. The thing that they don't talk about in these illegal books I got through the dark web, these PDF files, is, and they're so interesting to me because they say, if your mood is down, if you're depressed, you get sick faster. Why the fuck aren't we taught that in elementary school? If you're depressed, you catch more colds. That's what they write about. Manny P. Hall and all these guys. Does that even make sense to you, or does that sound retarded?
Not really, but Pfizer paid Michael Phelps to tell people to get the vax because he's depressed, so he's more at risk for COVID.
Michael Phelps swims. That's got to be the gayest shit I've ever heard.
So scientists are spellcasters, is what I'm getting.
Everyone is a spellcaster at a low level, but scientists would be high level. Are we allowed to smoke in here?
Probably not. So is big tobacco like a psyop, or?
When you're depressed, these hurt you more. You think I can get cancer? I'm fucking invincible with the shit I was taught. You're telling me if my mindset is low, my aura is dropping like Master Chief? Beep, 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 beep. You're playing on legendary, motherfucker. Unless you're a woman playing on easy mode. But look at this. With this information, you and all those retards watching, you guys are gonna call me he's a crackpot. And you're gonna go back to your lifestyle of never figuring out cancer or any disease, or, hey, thousands of years after Plato and we don't have the cure for the common cold. They are fucking with you so hard, dude. You think the queen has the same, that dead bitch, you think she has the same science, and Destiny said, yes, she does. Do you believe she has the same science textbook as you in grade 7? No, motherfucker, no. She's not learning about amphibians. I like those critters too, but goddamn, they're learning real science, dude. They're learning how to affect the invisible forces of nature. Something that, I'm not saying I mastered, but I definitely looked into it for a year. And let me tell you something. Carl Jung, the greatest psychologist of all time, that Jordan Peterson and those homosexuals, that they always, they'll use him as a credible source. He's the greatest, right?
I didn't know Jordan Peterson was gay.
I'm saying his temperament. I don't know if he's gay. I'm saying he's just like, a man crying all the time on camera. That's gonna lead my movement? That guy's gonna lead? Put Dwayne Johnson in the tutu, at least he's got some muscles. What the fuck? Now check this out. Or Stephen Coward, who's in a fucking dress all the time. That's gonna lead my movement? That's why Trump was hated so much. He's the first straight president in history. It shocked the fuck out of us. We're like, we're not used to this.
What about Abe Lincoln?
Abe was sucking cock, bro. They were all sucking cock. I didn't do my research on Abe, but if you're loved by the people, come on, bro. Nobody loves a straight dude. Look at me. They're gonna hate me. Trump is the most hated because he's straight and his temperament is straight. That's what masculine is temperament. Trump was so straight that if you give him a good idea, he'll say, nah. You know how straight you have to be to reject good ideas? He was his own cabinet, his own team he was saying no to, right? Just to be the man. It's like when your wife gives you a great idea, you say, nah, and then 1 week later pretend you came up with it. That's who he is, bro. That's the straightest dude, and that's why they hated him. There's only from 8 billion people on Earth, they say, only 1% of the world's population is straight. It's the most rare thing to find ever, and they flipped it on its head. Billions of men watching this would suck a dick for $1 million. How the fuck are you gonna call them straight? If they're straight, what am I, super straight? Get the fuck out of here, there's no spectrum. If billions of men would suck dick for $1 million, then go watch Arab TV, what the fuck? Buddy, would you suck dick for $1 million?
Absolutely not.
So you wanna be grouped up with the guys who would do it? I don't wanna be grouped up with them. And they get so mad when I say this. They go, bro, it's just one time. I say, one time? You're sucking dick.
Nah, that's one time too many. So you were calling yourself Dark MAGA. Like, what is that? And what drew you to Trump? You're kind of talking about him being, the only straight president. So if you could just elaborate on what got you into that red side.
I liked MAGA, but I didn't like the leaders of it. Yeah, my name's Little Ben Shapiro, and I don't want to be with those fucking nerds. If you're gonna push this traditional message of family, at least act straight, motherfucker. Ben Shapiro and these guys gotta act like they don't have a fucking dildo up their ass. Hey, I'm the leader of the conservative movement. Every one of them is wearing dresses and acting weird. Bro.
I don't think I've seen Ben Shapiro wear a dress.
Fuck MAGA. I'm with Dark MAGA. Dark MAGA, man, they didn't partner me for 3 years for talking the way I spoke on Twitch. Dark MAGA means, hey, I'll lose a paycheck if I'm honest. If I'm being honest and I lose a paycheck, that's worth it for me. I don't want to be in a Ferrari feeling fake. I see these guys in LA in Ferraris and they're driving around, they can't make fucking eye contact with me. And I'm like, bro, you're in a Ferrari, you can't make eye contact with me? And they just look down like, bro, I've been sucking too much cock for this Ferrari. I say, damn, no, there's no V8 on earth that could be loud enough to silence that dick suck in his fucking head. Straight dude sucking dick for money. That's the world, that's where I want to play? Get the fuck out of here.
So that's what made you like Trump?
Yeah, I sensed the straight dude. I'm like, oh, there's my people, finally. And I got gay buddies, but they've never turned to me and done, you see these Zoomers? They're getting girlfriends and being gay. How the fuck you gay with a girlfriend, homie? They're getting finger popped by girls. Hey, I got pegged by her, but I didn't like it, John. They come on to these shows that I go on and podcasts and talk about how they got fingered in the ass to impress a girl. I said, how you got a girlfriend and you're gay? How you gay with a girlfriend? These Zoomers are lost, bro. You're gay with a girlfriend, imagine with a dude.
So you think they're just headed on that road now?
I think they're doing it to impress the girl, which is kind of sad. You're getting raped to impress the girl?
No, that's
and here's the sad part is she's not impressed. That bitch laughing at you, bro. And I had this one girl on Twitch, Cup of Chai. That's her name. She said to me on my stream, she said, she put a strap on and fucked a MAGA conservative army guy in the ass for his birthday. I said, mashallah, this guy is my movement. I love this guy. Fuck no, I didn't say that, bro. I said MAGA soldier boy, the guy who's a fucking army dude getting fucked in the ass, and you want me to go to MAGA, I'll go to Dark MAGA. I don't want to go to MAGA. right? What is MAGA? Is this Milo Yiannopoulos? What is MAGA? Is Fox News showing Jeffree Star? I don't want to be with MAGA. I want to be with my people. What the fuck?
Wasn't it difficult to kind of find your people? It's a very small group that are.
No. I have gays who support me. I've got people all over the world who support me, but they can't say it at the workplace. And if you can't say the truth, you don't speak the language of God. Oh man, you can make millions and you're gonna bad mental health, kill yourself type shit. If you don't speak the truth on earth, you'll never have peace of mind again. And you look at me like, oh, you seem so angry. Well, you don't have peace of mind. You should see how I used to be before I had God. I was fighting on the street. That's why my Instagram got taken down. I was fighting on the street for $10 an hour, gatekeeping some fucking disgusting horror club. And I loved it, dude. I love the highest level of Satanism I've ever been through, where I'm fucking punching some dude's cranium. There's a fucking dent in one of those videos. The dude's holding a dent with cops surrounding him. I used to love that. And I'd be like, wow, I'm really living life. Bro, I slept on couches, bro. I was broke as fuck. I go to God, I start cleaning up my act. Now I run this shit and I'm taking over LA.
Do you believe in free speech?
No. Free speech is a pedophile's tool. Free speech is what got Cuties, some pedo TV, some pedo movie on Netflix as like, hey, this is just art. I believe in censorship. I want my side to censor them. This whole TikTok is a pedophile app, period. It's kids twerking to who's watching that? Who the fuck is watching that shit?
I don't know.
You don't want to censor that Chinese spyware? Would you censor TikTok?
Oh, absolutely. But that's because I don't use TikTok, so I'm kind of biased.
But it's definitely 100% a psyop. You think there's TikTok in China with kids? Dude, they'll knock you off the algorithm so fast if you twerk in Chinese TikTok. But if you're playing good violin, they skyrocket your views.
I heard about that. I heard that's actually confirmed real.
Yeah.
So who's them that you're trying to censor?
It would be the liberal establishment. Think of who has all the power on earth. It's these guys who want to maximize individual liberty as long as it doesn't hurt your neighbor, which means you can marry your mother because it's not hurting anyone. What? It's always against biblical morality. And I'm not like a nice guy. I'm not like Mr. Moral. But if I didn't have the Bible, I'd be fucking chewing your head off. I'd be that, remember that dude in Florida eating people, the flesh-eating freak?
Yeah.
I'd be on bath salts if I didn't have the Bible. Now it's just like a line or two, you know, I'm healthy. I'm like those fucking little white girls in LA. I'll do a line or two. I'll do some cocaine. Do you have coke?
No, not on me.
What fucking host are you?
So no go for free speech. It's only God's speech.
Exactly. And that means even my channels like mine would get taken down for being a little too much. And I'm fine with that. As long as we're taking down everyone else, I'm fine with that. You know, I dream of a day where I can walk my nephew and my mom at the park without seeing some ugly, dumb bitch twerking. Bro, you're twerking in front of my nephew? In medieval times, I'd cut you with a sword, bitch. What the fuck are you doing? Sexualizing yourself in public like a dumb bitch. And a lot of people think it's just a gay pride parade that I have a problem with. Bro, a straight couple on the bus making out, I try and fight both of them at the same time. I go, you know, it's a 2 versus 1, so I guess I can hit a woman this time. It's 2 versus 1, it's fine. But I don't do that because I don't hit women, I'm a good guy. But you see what I'm saying? It's not just the gay thing. It's like, if you're a straight dude doing all that fucking nasty shit, making out with your girl at the park, that's fucking illegal, right? We need some Saudi energy in this bitch. We need to start cutting tongues for this kind of shit. This is disgusting. My nephew playing, and then he just gets lost in some couple making out and slobbering with each other. And my nephew looks like, I'm not supposed to be seeing this. And you think that's not getting stuck in his subconscious till he's an adult? Of course it is. Every memory you have is filed.
No, I would say that's lower class behavior. It's not appropriate for public. Because I see everything. I feel like everything is sexualized now, just in comparison to when, you know, we were younger. The people go to TikTok sexualized. They go to Twitter. They see someone getting his head blown off and then sexualized. It's almost unavoidable for...
Yeah, it's like those guys who grew up with WikiLeaks. We all had, you were probably that, buddy, watching dudes getting their heads chopped off.
No, I actually never watched any gore video in my life.
Did you know what those videos do to you if you watch enough of them?
No.
All those people are into violence porn now. That's how far they went down the rabbit hole. That watching those videos in high school, they resurface as an adult and you start going down porn rabbit holes, and your mind, what you see, what you hear is everything. If you're watching Hassan Piker and all these fucking little bitches, you're becoming a little bitch. That's like watching me. If some dude was watching me all day, bro, you're gonna rob a bank. You should turn me off, bro. Like, have me in limits, bro. Maybe put some fucking Beethoven on or something. Maybe read a book. Fucking watch me all day and join ISIS. Is that what you want? If there's an energy you like, you want to emulate, you don't listen to it 24/7, man. Be a grown-up. You think I'd listen to Trump 24/7? No, dude. I'll listen to some audiobooks and do some normal shit to keep me from going in public with a megaphone screaming, what the fuck am I seeing in society? This is some degenerate shit. You have to limit the thoughts that are gonna get you in trouble. And if you're watching dudes in tutu dresses all day, one day you're gonna go shopping.
So do you think porn should be banned as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I got so many friends in the industry who hate this take. And I mean, we're still friends and stuff. But I'm saying to them, you know, if it didn't exist, you smart minds would find somewhere else to sublimate your energy. Like you'd make money somewhere else. It's not like you guys, you know what I mean? Because a lot of porn people don't even make money. It's just the guys who know what they're doing. But yeah, it's not like taking that away, everyone's starving to death. That's retarded. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Some people think they can only fuck, right? That's the only way you can make money is like fucking coins out a bitch like she's fucking Super Mario. That's retarded.
So are you married?
Nah. Married to what? An American woman? A Westerner? Yeah, I'm married to a whore. Is that what you want to hear? Is that what you want to hear? I'm married to a whore? You're going to give me... This guy's living his truth? We're real conservative. He married a whore? Of course I'm not married. What the fuck? Married to what? Look around you, bro. You know, in medieval times, you were fucking destined a virgin. The whole fucking tribe would be like, you get a virgin, you get a virgin, you get a... Now, if your wife is a virgin, that bitch is the greatest liar on earth. Should do something with her lies, bro. She'd be good for business and marketing. Hey, think about it. Billions of men on earth and none of them get a virgin. What? You mean you have $100 million, $20 million, $5 million? You mean you work your ass off your whole life and your bitch sucks some dude's dick? No wonder you're killing yourselves. What the fuck? Nah. Married, I wish. And what would I do married? I'm not changing the world married. The people like me have certain roles to play, right? What am I gonna listen to her fucking make flapjacks and talk about retard shit? Me around a woman all day, married, playing with kids? You think that's what I'm made for? A warlord made for that?
No, you can just, go on whatever you're doing during the day or like a couple of weeks and then, come see the family later. Like they used to go on ships and travel.
A ship, yeah. Listen, find me the woman and I'll get married to look consistent for my audience. Like, oh, you should be married by now. To a whore?
Well, I'm not saying you should be married. I'm just saying, if...
Yes, you are. You're attacking me now.
I asked if you were.
No, I got a lot of divorce energy too. You know what I mean? Like you can tell I'm gonna have a divorce. So
Well, I mean, even the guys that don't have divorce energy get divorced, so.
Yeah, I mean, 80% divorce rate. And they're all, you know what's funny is they all eat pussy. So why, you're eating pussy and she's getting a divorce? Like, why did you eat the pussy? What the fuck? But yeah, it is sad. Like, to be a man right now is sad. And when it stops being funny to me, it is sad. You know, eventually I go to bed thinking like, whoa, this is a weird society I was born. Like, the one time I doubt God is when I realize I was born in the time where women can vote.
Well, what's wrong with women voting?
It's family destruction politics, right? That's what it is. I mean, that's like saying a woman should have an opinion. Women have they have opinions in the US and they're the most depressed on earth. But in Saudi, where they don't have opinions, they're chilling, bro. They're chilling. Oh, it's because they're being suppressed. No, they're chilling. They're raising kids.
So you're talking about something about the richest people?
Yeah, I've been researching Masonic psychology, ruling class psychology, alchemy, sciences, hermetic practices, occult practices, magic, black magic, left hand, right hand, all sorts of systems of power. And I didn't believe in this shit because I was like, what is this Harry Potter gay ass shit? Why does Harry Potter have billions of dollars pumped into it? Well, it's not because it's great literature. It's because it's a top-down control aspect from the, ruling class that practices witchcraft. And you can see throughout history, all iconic people were divinely inspired or demonically charged by witchcraft during certain zodiac alignments. And it's not always just ritual. Like, for example, in mysticism or Kabbalah, right? I've learned that demons, why they feel so personal to us, whether your demon is crack, fentanyl, whatever, drinking, is because the human actually creates the demon. It's this big. And it follows you around and you nourish it throughout your life and it grows very big. That's why an alcoholic will always have a drug problem as well, pill problem, other demons that follow. When it rains, it pours, pop smoke. Now, these demons you create. That's why you hate talking about demons. You say, "This, I don't believe in this shit." You created them. You create them in the mental plane. These invisible impulses that penetrate everyone's psyche, they follow you around. That's why a good little Christian couple has such little problems, because they don't fucking play with these demons. But these OnlyFans girls and all these people, they're always around low vibrational human beings. Not in no fucking gay LA way, low vibes. Like actually on some, when you lower your spirit, when you lower your umbilical cord connected to God through drinking and blah, 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 or dancing, chanting, whatever, it attracts these little demons that maybe someone else made. Sometimes you can even use a demon. You can conjure one up, or you can use one to get you to increase your range of thought, enter a trance-like Christ consciousness state, Brahmic splendor. You can use one for the seat of the soul, the pineal gland. You can spark your fucking third eye and paint a Mona Lisa when never being instructed in art. Not even one lesson your whole life. How? How are they going into these psychic revelation states? It's always this contract with demons that they think the demon will help them. The demon eventually takes over, ruins their life. We see it with rappers. We see it with Travis. We see it with all these guys who, Astro World, we see them get lost in it, right?
Wait, so what did Travis Scott get lost in Astro World?
When he was charging up the crowd and, he was really just wanting that to happen. I'm not trying to get sued, but...
So you think that was like a demon that he just didn't train well enough?
It was a portal, and you got to remember, a woman's vagine is a psychic resonator. It's a portal. That's not the only portal. There are different kinds of portals they use. Music is used to go through these portals and fuck bitches. I only got head with the Migos on. You remember when I said that?
Yeah.
Music is used to get through certain portals. Travis Scott, after being initiated and all that, this was a ritual, Astro World. That's why it said, "I'll see you on the other side." Other side of what, bitch? And how many people died at that one?
I think like 11 or.
Did you see Travis's face when he was on with Charlemagne? It's like, guy's actually critically retarded. He was drooling, talking the whole time. I dare someone to watch that interview and try and tell me this guy is in control of his own body. It seems like every morning he's a zombified version of himself. And this guy is completely at the top. The most money, the biggest deals, blah, blah, blah. But really, he's getting fucked in the ass. Right? He's getting that contract. And he's demonically charged. I mean, in my documentary, it's gonna explain, no rapper enters the mainstream without a ritual first. And what separates those fucking dog shit artists, or let's say old Billie Eilish versus new, is the only thing that separates that, the millions of dollars separation, is one music video. And you know which one that is. The bitch has feathers in that one.
The one where she's got the wings, the black wings.
A$AP Rocky, same thing. And look at the fashion designers he stays with. Look at Balenciaga. It's not fashion for fabric, man. It's spellcasters at the top. And people look at me funny. You guys gotta remember, even, let's say, Jake Paul. Did you see that?
No.
Jake Paul says there's definitely something mystical, invisible, controlling this career. Some spiritual entities controlling my career. And at first I'm like, fuck does this kid know? Like, I don't believe it, but he is punching a lot harder than his brother. And then I find out he goes underground in the underworld, into a basement with his whole team. What do these millionaires spend money on? He bought a whole team of psychics to get him to go into a trance-like, non-ordinary state to increase his range of thought. And he said the first time he started crying like a bitch and then laughing and they're doing chanting breath work. And they're all screaming.
Is this real?
Absolutely. Put the clip next. I'll send you the clip so I don't look crazy.
Okay.
And he then, a guy with an ego as big as Jake Paul's, giving credit to something else? When has Jake ever spoken like that? He gives credit to, there's some spiritual entities helping me. He gives credit to that. And the ego Andy, the guy with the ego, is saying that. When the fuck has Jake ever spoken like that? Usually it's me, I did it myself. Because they always have to thank those little demons. They, I want more. And what happened? He got fucking smoked out with Fury. So I guess he got that ritual wrong. But he had to do a big ritual before every fight. It's not just music artists. It's not just fighters. It's like there's a satanic division at the tops of military. And that's going to be in my documentary. If the symbols of Satanism are so powerful wherever there's billions of dollars, how the fuck are you not gripping at the Bible? They're inverting it.
So why are gay people richer than straight people?
Well, my theory is after, because there's these books that I read that are just symbols, so no one understands them, hieroglyphics. Carl Gustav Jung, the greatest psychologist of all time, a suspected homosexual, that's what I think, with Freud. He has 5 black books and 1 red book. These are spellcaster books. The greatest psychologist of all time has a whole book, and it's on YouTube, the audiobook, you can even see it, a whole book called, I think it was Magic, and what to do with magic. And basically it's a rod that talks to him, talking about giving his integrity, peace of mind, and soul, his solar. If he gives his soul, right, he gets whatever magic is offering, but he doesn't know what magic is. He just knows it's tempting. He has a book where he sells his soul, not in a cryptic, oh, I think you're reaching, Zherka. No, it's like 1 hour straight of that same language. Like, this is something that no one would refuse. But Jordan Peterson, these people don't ever talk about this. They talk about his work, but they don't talk about this book. He has a whole book talking about himself selling his soul. And I found out you have to soft read his hieroglyphic and symbols in a sleep state, in a opposite of wakefulness, right, drowsy state. And so I'd soft read it, and there's something demonic about it, but it lined up with Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma book. 1,000 pages, and I read that 30 times to understand it. It's the highest level of poetry too. It's it's a hard read. But I said, if I can finish that book, I can go make $100 million. I mean, no one's gonna read that book. That's the hardest book. That's like choosing to master Shakespeare when you have zero interest. I knew if I could do it, I'm like, hey, this is gonna be good stuff for me. And there's truth there. If these guys really ruled the world, I wanna know how, because it's not just money. And Carl Gustav Jung and Albert Pike, what all these secret societies, Skull and Bones, Freemasonry, OTO, whatever, what they all have in common, what I have come to understand, Aleister Crowley had a quote saying, all men of antiquity, all great men of ancient times had one thing in common. They all got fucked in the ass. And he didn't say it like that. He said that they were sodomites. And I looked into it, I'm like, Leonidas, Pythagoras, Plato, Napoleon, Shakespeare, Hitler, all these people who had power, all these iconic, oh my God, they ruled the world at one point. They all got fucked in the ass. And why? Why would that give someone knowledge? Why is that biting from the fruit? Because just like how you have an emotional connection during sex with your girlfriend, you have that with a man. It's called a psychic transfer. When Jung's book was talking about, we raise the solar, drop the solar, then the moon comes, but the solar is raised and it's tempted to be touched. And then it's swayed, and then it's dropped, and the solar is raised, and then two party members come and raise it again. And the whole symbol, all the symbolism in this book is talking about generative principle, the G of masonry, which is sex, the sexual essence, the thing that makes people build bridges, right? I want a wife and kids, I better become an engineer so they like me, so women like me. This serpent-like feeling, right? This sexual essence, why it was used in ancient times is because when Jung is talking about the solar, he's talking about the solar plexus, right where the nut hits, when a dude's piping. And Leonidas, all these guys had little boys that they'd pipe. And these geniuses would transfer electromagnetically their fluids, boom, right into these boys, and these boys would do it to someone else, and that's why all geniuses are linked. Is it a coincidence all geniuses throughout history are bi or gay? Every president in history, that you're telling me, oops, that's a coincidence?
Well, I don't think there's any proof of most presidents being involved with dudes.
Say again?
I don't think there's any proof most presidents were gay.
If you had to bet money, what, do you think just Obama? You think just Bush and the Bush Senior?
I mean, George Bush Jr. seemed kind of straight.
Didn't Bill Clinton and all those guys, there's always some kind of lawsuit they're in where some hush money, shut the fuck up, stop talking about that. But there was about all the presidents had some kind of scandal with men. You got to look into that, right? And maybe Abe was straight. I want to take that one back. I didn't research Abe like that, but I'm just paranoid. I think 90%, I'm starting to think even Nixon.
So that's why they have more money. So that's why they have more money.
It seems that, think about it. You're not going to get any intellect from a woman. When has a dude gotten smarter fucking a woman? It's actually the opposite. And think about it. What I'm saying is, if geniuses banged women, women would actually be smart. They'd be capable of thinking. But who bangs most women? It's definitely not the nerds. It's the retard cavemen chads. That's why women are so dumb. There's psychic transfers happening. To the ancestral level.
I've never heard of that theory before.
Yeah, I'm the first to discover this, and if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be the greatest meme on earth, but in 50 years, I'll be remembered as, the guy who figured this one out. And really, the ruling class already knows this. I've met people who are like under them, and they do smile at me at certain parties, and they know I know, and they kind of like treat it like you're late to the party. I'm like, motherfucker, you guys grew up with this. You guys were learning this 5 years old. I had to go through the dark web to find this shit.